Well, as you can see, it's really windy outside. And I had a viewer ask me about the DJI Spark versus the DJI Mini, and is the Spark more stable than the Mini? And you know, it's kind of self-evident. The Mini only weighs 249 grams with a battery. The Spark is much heavier, although its arm length on the props are much shorter. Well, I can't say much. Let's say a good half an inch shorter than what's on the Mini. But we'll take a look and see what the UAV forecast is. It says not good to fly, 24 miles an hour, up to 40 mile per hour gusts. But what the heck, we'll give it a try. Well, nothing like flying up the DJI Spark, and guess what? Forgetting to actually hit the GoPro to show that entire video, so now I got to reshoot it. So wasted this battery. This one's only got about 50%, but we'll be okay. So I got GPS. Okay, so here we are. See if I can repeat everything that actually just happened. So it's windy. DJI Spark is actually doing really well. And in the previous video or the previous flight that I forgot to record, it actually got up to 100 feet, and then the wind actually started making it drift, so I had to put it in sport mode to get it back. And you can see how much the wind is just gusting. So let's see how she flops around, and if necessary I'll stick it in sport mode. Let's see, 69, 70s. All right, now she's starting to get pulled away. Stick her in sport mode, bring her back. Is that something I'm going to do with the Mavic Mini? No. Because I don't even think in sport mode it's going to be able to handle these gusts. But the Spark is actually able to. We'll take her back out of sport. You can see with how gusty that the wind is, and you're probably picking it up on the GoPro. The Spark still does relatively well and keeping its orientation. I mean, for such a small drone, and there's people that, you know, are like, it's only 1080p, it's only 1080p 30. You know what? This has been a really good flyer for me. I use it often. It's built like a little tank compared to the Mavic Mini. Now, nothing against the Mavic Mini. We all understand that the Mavic Mini is 249 grams for a reason. So something that's light. We'll stick this sport mode. All right, let's bring her back in for a landing, and then we'll do the same little flight with the Mavic Mini. I do like this little guy. Good little drone, I tell you. For those of you that are out there thinking about getting a drone, yes, the Mavic Mini shoots in 2.7K, but it is a smaller drone. And before anybody asks, no, I am not going to update the firmware on the Mavic Mini. Been too many people complaining about the motor errors that are popping up, and the majority of them are showing the left rear prop as the problem child. And even a lot of people that have changed out the props with new props still have that error coming up. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let DJI figure out what's going on with the firmware. But let's change this up and now use the Mavic Mini. Okay, looks like I've got enough satellites now, so we're going to take off with the Mini. So we still got the same amount of gusts. Get her up a little bit. So as you can hear, it's already struggling with these winds, as you can hear from the props, but still flying well. Let's get her up a little bit. You see how much the trees are bending there. I'm gonna kick it into sport mode just in case I need that little bit of extra. I'm at 57 feet. I really don't want to go a whole lot higher. Let's see, that's 82 feet. Actually, the Mini is doing a lot better than what the Spark was doing. Let's keep it in fact that I've got it in sport mode right now, so maybe this is, I'm getting strong wind warning. Finally. Drop her down a little bit. Let's see what happens if I put it back into P mode. We can get her up there. "63 feet. Okay, I'm going to give it a try. Get her up to 103 feet. Still the same wind gusts. Well, I'll be darned. The Mini is actually doing really, really well. It almost makes me want to take the Spark back up. Put her in sport mode again. You can see this one's not as quick as the Spark in sport mode, but shockingly it was more stable in the wind. Take her back up again. Let's get her up there. At 103 feet again. I don't know if you can see it right up there. She's doing good. Strong wind warning again. And it buzzes now on the last firmware. Well, that was interesting. Almost makes me want to take the Spark back up one more time just to see if I have the issue with the Spark over the Mavic Mini. Alright, the Mini's back down. I think I'm going to fly up the Spark one more time and we'll test out to see, is it the Spark that's the weakling in high winds? Alright, we got the Spark amp going. Just waiting for it to connect to some satellites, and like I said, the winds are still the same, still gusting the same amount, up to 40 miles an hour. But I just want to see, is it a fluke with the Mavic Mini that it actually handled the wind better than the Spark? If that's the case, I'm going to be shocked. Like I said, it's very windy, so bear with me on this wind noise and the take off. Get it up to where the other one was. 26% battery. Fine for what I'm going to be doing. Alright, let's punch her back up to 100 feet. Well, maybe not even that much. Let's get her up to, let's see here, 77 feet. She's doing good. We'll get her up to 103 just so we're equal. 104. And she's drifting. A gust of wind comes and it just pulls her off. And having it correct, we can get her back. Come down a little bit here. Low battery warning, 16%. Well, shockingly, well, that was shocking. Shocking to see that the Spark, even though it's a heavier drone, is actually more susceptible to the wind than what the Mavic Mini is. Now, of course, if you're flying, or if I was flying the Phantom 3, it would have no problem in the wind. At least not with these winds. It may drift a little bit, but still you're able to counteract it. The Mavic Pro that I've got, no problem in high winds. Especially you kick it in sport mode and you've got absolutely no problem. But I'm just surprised, very surprised, that the Spark was actually more susceptible to high wind than the Mavic Mini. Very, very, very surprised. Very, very interesting. So for the Mavic Mini owners out there, I'm not saying go fly it in 40-mile-an-hour winds, obviously. You know, you want to use caution and use good judgment when you're flying a drone, but I was shocked. So to the viewer that asked me to compare the two regarding wind conditions, this was a perfect day for it, since the winds are very, very gusty. Tomorrow they're supposed to be gusting 60 to 70 miles per hour, which I will not be doing this type of test. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you later.